Hello everyone. Continuing with Unit 4 of Gear and Gear Trains. Today in this fifth lecture we will be discussing gear tooth profile. Till now what we have discussed is what are gears, what are different types of gears, what are gear trains, what are different types of gear trains, velocity ratio related to gear trains, terminologies of gears, tooth, geometrical and terminologies of gear train. So now we will be discussing about the profiles of gear tooth. So let's start. So in the beginning there are two types of tooth profiles. Actually based on the applications there are several types, uh, but in broad spectrum we consider two types of tooth profile, that are involute tooth profile and cycloidal tooth profile. So let us discuss both of them one by one. So first of all I will start with involute tooth profile. What are involute tooth? The tooth profile of an involute gear is the involute of circle, which is the curve that would be traced by a point on a line that rolls on the circumference of the circle. This is the definition of involute. I will be explaining you very geometrically in different ways how we can draw the tooth profile. So you can note it down, this particular definition, that the tooth profile of an involute gear is the involute of a circle, which is the curve that would be traced by a point on a line that rolls on the circumference of a circle. Let me show you the pictorial representation. As you can see, this is a circle having this green is this circle, you can see the circumference. So when a line is rolled over the circumference of a circle, the curve that has been traced by the point is termed as involute profile. So in this particular figure, this red profile that has been traced by the point, as you can see in this, is your involute tooth. How we will draw this, we will be discussing it. So there are different ways of generating the involute. One of the method is this one, when a line rolls over the circumference, so the point traces the path, that is the involute path. So as you can see in this figure, this is the involute profile. Another, there are many other ways of identifying involute tooth profile. So another way to visualize the involute of a circle is to imagine the curve that the end of the string wrapped around a cylinder would make as the string is unwrapped from the cylinder. That is, if we have any say string which is wrapped on any spherical or cylindrical surface, and if we unwound it, so the path traced by its edge is the profile that it makes is the involute tooth profile. Say, or it may also be defined as the path traced by the end of the string which is originally wrapped on a circle. When the string is unwrapped from the circle form from which the involute is derived is called the base circle. As I have explained you during the gate terminologies also, that the profile is derived from the base circle. So let me make it more clear with the visualization. Let us have a small demonstration. Suppose we have a base circle. This is the base circle having the circumference as shown. Let the base circle has a center at O. Now from O, if we draw a radius, say OA, say in a horizontal direction, let, as you can see, let a string AB is wrapped on the circumference of a circle. That is, on the base circle, if we wrap a string, so let this AB is the arc. What I mean to say is, suppose we are wrapping a string on this circle, circumference of the circle, and we are taking a small string, that is AB, which is wrapped on this circle, and if we, when the string is unwound from the circle, it takes the straight form AB dash. You concentrate on the theory as well as the representation. When the string, this string AB is unwound from the circle, it takes the straight form AB dash, which is perpendicular to OA. What I mean to say is, if I unwound this string AB, it will take this path which is shown by this red. let this edge is B dash. So this AB dash is perpendicular to OA, and this BB dash is your involute profile. The point B finally reaches to B dash passing through point B1, B2, B3, B. So the curve BB dash is known as involute. That means when it will be unbounded, it will follow a path, say from B to B1, then B1 to B2, B3, B4, and finally it reaches B dash. So this red color profile that has been generated by unbounding is known as involute profile. So involute is the locus of point located at the end of the thread, which it is unbound from a circle. This is the other way. In case of the tooth profile, because we are here concentrating on profiles of gear tooth. So in that case, the circle is the tooth wheel is the base circle of the gear. Now there is another way also to determine this path BB dash. The base circle is divided into equal number of parts, that is, this is an arc that we have taken AB. We have divided it into equal parts, say from A to A4, then 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, and 1 to B. Now tangent at point 4, 3, 2, 1 are drawn, and the length of the tangent at these points are set off equal to arc B4, that is from B to 4, then B3, that is we will draw one tangent, we will draw one tangent from tangent to the base circle from point 4. The length of this B44, that is this point, as you concentrate on the figure, this B4 yellow dot till this, the length of this line that is a tangent to the base circle at point 4 is equal to the arc B4, that is from B to 4. Then from 3 to B3 we will draw, then from 2 to B2, then from 1 to B1, yes, and from 1 to B1, from 1 to B1 the length will be equals to from capital B to 1, and finally the curve again this B, B1, B2, B3, B4, B dash is the involute curve. So the tangent again, the tangent B44, what is B44? That is B4 to 4 at any point 4 on the base circle is normal to the involute. It is very important that it is normal to the involute. That means this tangent is point 4 is normal to the involute at point V4. From 3, if we draw a tangent to this base circle, it will be normal at point B3 on the involute profile, and similarly for point 2 and 1 at B2 and B1. Clear? B2 and B1. Thus it is concluded, very important, thus it is concluded that normal at any point of an involute is a tangent to the base circle from that point. That is, it can be concluded that the normal at any point of an involute, this is the involute profile. If we draw a normal, so all the normals at a point of involute is a tangent to the base circle. Those normals will pass through the base circle and it will be the tangent to the base circle. The line, as I have mentioned separately also, the line is normal to involute and tangent to base circle. So similarly this B33 line also, B21 line also, B11 line also is normal to involute, and if it is normal to involute, it is tangent to base circle. So this, in short, or we can conclude this B dash is your involute profile. So we have understood 3 different ways of identifying or drawing the involute profile. What are the 3 ways? One is when the line is rolled over the circumference of the circle. Another is this one, when we unwound the thread, another is when we draw the tangents from different points of arc and we join the points, it gives us the involute profile. Clear? Okay. Next is cycloidal tooth profile. In case of cycloidal tooth, before starting I just tell you this OP here is your cycloidal tooth profile. The difference between the involute tooth profile and the cycloidal tooth profile while drawing is, in that case, in case of involute, the line is rolled over the circle or the circumference of the circle, whereas in case of cycloidal, the circle is rolled over the line, or we can say the circle is rolled over the another circle. From inside also and from outside also, we will be seeing them all separately. So in short, what is cycloidal tooth? A cycloidal, or we can say a cycloid, is the curve traced by a point on the circumference of a circle which rolls without slipping on a fixed straight line. That is, we suppose we have taken a point on the any point, say we have taken any point P on the circle, and if we roll, the path that this point P will trace, the locus will be the cycloidal profile. Let me demonstrate. Suppose this, you can see what I mean to say. So this red color path that has been traced by a point which is rolling over the circle shown by P is the cycloidal tooth profile. Now there are two different types of cycloidal tooth profiles, hypocycloid and epicycloid. So what is hypocycloid? When a circle rolls inside the circumference of the fixed circle without slipping, a point on the circle forms a curve which is known as hypocycloid. That is, when the circle rolls inside the circumference of the fixed circle, as we have taken a fixed circle and this red color part traced by the point on the circumference of the circle which is rolling is known as hypocycloid. When it is hypocycloid, when it is inside the circumference. This figure has been taken from the Wolfram method website, very effective to explain. So what is hypocycloid? When the circle rolls inside the circumference of the fixed circle without slipping, a point on the circle forms a curve which is hypocycloid. And what is epicycloid? When a circle rolls outside the circumference of the fixed circle without slipping, a point on the circle forms a curve which is known as epicycloid. As you can see in this particular figure, the path traced by a point which is moved on the circumference of a circle and moving outside the circle is known as epicycloid. Let me make it more clear. So in short, I will be making it more clear. In short, in a cycloidal gear, the part of tooth flank that lies outside the pitch circle has a epicycloid shape, while the part that lies inside the pitch circle has a hypocycloid shape. What does it mean? Suppose we have a base circle or a pitch circle. So if the circle rolls outside the circumference of the fixed circle, it is making epicycloid profile, but when it is rolling inside, it is known as hypocycloid. So for any gear, if you want to draw, suppose this is a blue color, say we are considering one tooth and this is say the pitch circle. So if you want to draw a cycloidal tooth profile, so this flank that is surface above the pitch circle formed by the circle rolling outside, that is epicycloid profile, and below the pitch circle this profile is been made, this is hypocycloid. Hope you are very clear. And here this fixed circle which is rotating is about which the other circles are rotating is your pitch circle. You can see the motion in cycloidal gear. Hope it is clear. I will show you different way also. Say we have an internal gear with cycloidal tooth profile. Okay, now we are clear with involute tooth profile and cycloidal tooth profile. Let me make show or demonstrate the differences between the two one by one. Let's have the comparison between involute and cycloidal tooth. Involute tooth and cycloidal tooth. First, what is involute tooth? Or it has interference, that is, in case of involute tooth interference occurs, whereas in case of cycloidal tooth no interference occurs. What we are doing is we are comparing the two types of tooth. So in case of involute interference occurs, whereas in case of cycloidal no interference occurs. Pressure angle remains constant throughout the operation, whereas in case of cycloidal pressure angle varies. It is 0 at the pitch point and maximum at the start and end of engagement. Clear? What is pressure angle? I have already explained in gear terminologies very effectively. So if you have any doubt, you can go back to that particular section of the video or in that particular video and you will get. So pressure angle is constant in involute, whereas it varies in cycloidal. It is 0 at the pitch point and maximum at the start and end of engagement. Next, in case of involute tooth, variation in center distance does not affect the velocity ratio. Very important. Variation in center distance, that means if we vary the center distance between the two gears, it does not affect the velocity ratio in case of involute tooth, whereas for cycloidal tooth center distance should not vary for constant velocity ratio. That means if we vary the center distances, velocity ratio will also be changed. For involute tooth, it is very easy to manufacture, whereas cycloidal it is difficult to manufacture as two curves, two different curves. One is hypo and other is epicycloids are required, that is outside and on the surface or in the surface. I have already explained what is hypocycloid and what is epicycloid. So it is difficult to manufacture, whereas involute tooths are easy to manufacture. But involute tooths are the weaker teeth and cycloidal tooth profile gear is stronger teeth and smooth operation. In case of involute tooth, contact take place between convex surfaces and so comparatively more wear and tear, whereas in case of cycloidal, concave flank makes contact with convex flank, thus there is less wear and tear. That is why it is said that it has a cycloidal has a smooth operation. I will show you the images of I have taken from the textbook, that how involute teeth look like and how the cycloidal teeth look like in a gear. So as you can see, and similarly cycloidal teeth. This is the elaborative description of involute teeth and cycloidal teeth. Thank you so much. Hope you are clear with the topic. Now for more queries you can contact me directly on my YouTube channel or you can mail me anytime. So for more videos you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much.